welcome back to JK Reactions. My name is Jason, and I'm so happy to be back here with all of you as we continue to react to our favorite singers from the Philippines. Because I believe the Philippines have the best singers in the world, and if it's not a singer, then it could only be none other than Catriona Gray. Miss Universe 2018! Yes, 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 yes! Oh, I'm so happy for her. She is the best Miss Universe ever, in my mind, in my opinion. But this one was phenomenal. Number one, I love Filipinos. So the fact that the Filipino won, oh my God, that was awesome. And so not only do you have the best singers in the world now, but you also have the most beautiful people. You can prove that now. And you also have the nicest, most humble people in the world. And so I'm very grateful for you for supporting my channel and watching me. And thank you for requesting this one today. I have been asked to react to Bottomline. So Bottomline is, looks like it's a pretty long video. It's going to be the entire segment. But I'm going to really be able to see in depth her views on important issues and so on. Which I really haven't seen. I've seen her win the pageant. I've heard excerpts, and I hear from other people how intelligent she is, how well put together she is. She's smart, beautiful, can hold her own in any conversation, fits into any situation naturally, and is just a natural at being Miss Universe, which is awesome. So I could not be happier. She is just the best. So now, let's go ahead and react to this, because I don't want to talk too long because it's a long video. We can talk a little bit about it afterwards. So let's go! Catriona Gray! Miss Universe! Oh, I just love saying that. Bottomline.
Puspusan ang paghahanda. Sa kaliwat ka ng panayam sa kanya, ramdam na ang kahandaan at excitement ni Catriona Gray para sa Miss Universe 2018. Isang araw matapos i-anunsyo ng Miss Universe Organization na sa Bangkok, Thailand gaganapin ang big event, ikina-excite ng mga pageant fans ang Thailand tour video ni Catriona, pagpaparamdam ng excitement ng pambato ng Pinas. Pero sa gitna ng preparasyon, naglalaan pa rin ng panahon si Catriona sa kanyang mga advokasya. Isa na dito ang HIV/AIDS Awareness Campaign. At ilang araw mula ngayon, lilipad na papuntang Thailand si Catriona. Pero bago yan, uupo muna siya sa hot seat kasama ang King of Talk. This is the Bottomline.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Welcome to the Bottomline. Tonight is very special because this is our send-off episode for somebody very special. I'm talking about Miss Universe 2018, Catriona Gray.
Oh, I love her. I love her.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Tita Boy. It's always a pleasure coming to talk to you. I always learn so much from you. I kick myself that I didn't bring my notebook.
Because I always tell Kat, your notes.
Yeah, but it's true. Tita Boy always
Right.
have like these messages or techniques or ways to go about things that's really interesting and new to me.
The last time we spoke to each other was during the ABS-CBN ball.
Yes, and I co-hosted with you there.
I know, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a fun night.
Can I just tell you something? The last interview that Pia did before she joined Universe in 2015 was a Bottomline. Here in the studio.
Oh.
And we don't usually use the studio. It's a different studio that we use. So the universe may just be telling us something.
Very true. Very true.
The universe may just be telling us something. Nicole, let's go to your question.
How would you show a cynic how beautiful the world is?
Well, I think how we perceive our outer world is how we perceive our inner world. When you can see it from a lens of gratitude, or you are able to pinpoint small beauties in everyday life, or small acts of humanity, or something that makes you smile, you really have to make an effort to see it. And so I would tell that cynic, you know, look around you. Is there something that's distorting your view of the world? And if there is, remove it and try and see the beauty in the world, because it is a beautiful world.
Wow. Very well said.
I just came from Tondo today, so I'm like feeling that question.
Wow.
Yeah, but I would have gone there. Hindi naman ako Miss Universe. But I would have gone there. I went to Tondo and I saw so much beauty.
Right.
And a cynic is someone who doubts everything, including beauty.
Yeah.
I would have probably gone there, meaning I would have said I just came from a place where you wouldn't expect to see beauty, and I saw children. I actually read that story. I saw children, and they were just so beautiful. I'd share that story with a cynic.
Yeah, that's very...
The other way that I would handle that question would be, excuse me, can you just look at me and stare at me? And then, Kat, you say, and I think.
Mic drop.
I'd like to go to Christian. Go ahead, Christian.
I'm a secondary public teacher in Pampanga.
Galing.
Yes po. And this is my question. If given a chance you'll be a teacher for a day, what subject would you like to teach?
And why?
And why, of course?
I like this question
Yeah.
because I work a lot with kids. It would actually be life skills in that, especially if they're young, just how to interact with each other. Like simple things in how to share or how to deal when something's taken away from them. Or, you know, if there is a dispute over something, how to reason out that children can understand. Because I think a lot of the times in our education system, basic life skills aren't taught.
Yeah, that's
They're not put in place. So we grow into adults trying to figure out the world that we come into, and we have to make mistakes, and we have to kind of learn through people telling us, hey, you know, we shouldn't approach it in this way, or there's a problem here, this is not how you handle it. So I think you need to start young. If you make it as simple as you can for children, then they'll grow into very reasonable and equal-headed adults.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But the way to do it, this is partly coaching for Kat, because I am
That's why I
one
need my
of her
notebook.
teachers. Life coaching falls under
That
what?
falls under education.
M-
Edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, that's ESB in high school.
There are other schools na ibang tawag noon.
Values education.
Values education. You can say values education
Or edukasyon
and
sa pagpapakatao.
proceed with what you said.
Yes.
Because that becomes the subject.
Yeah.
We're ready. Okay? Ako kinakabahan. This is not just for Kat. This is for you know, who get into beauty
So I was
contests.
not expecting that
All
answer.
right?
That was
Let's
really
Let's go
interesting.
to you.
Made sense.
Hi.
I mean, it was a
I
good
just
answer.
wonder, what's the biggest advice that you didn't take? And why?
What?
I'm a very stubborn person, and I'm also a visionary. And the thing is, when I get a vision for something, whether it's a creative pursuit or like an evening gown peg, I'm really stubborn with my vision. And I've had so many people come to me and be like, hey, I can see you in something else, or, you know, that's not really fitted for you. You should try something else. But I have to try it first. I have to try my vision first. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'd rather stay true to my vision and then explore others and learn that way than never listening to what I want.
Wonderful. But you could have been more straightforward. Somebody wanted me to wear a gown. I didn't take it. Diba? It's more powerful, and then you can go into. Usually I have a vision of the things I like. Usually I have a vision of the things I like. Some people want me to put my hair this way, you know, and I just
Like
remember
me?
that somebody wanted me to wear a gown, and I didn't. That was the last time I didn't take an advice. You know, it's that powerful.
And
Okay?
it's easier to digest when you give the first.
Yes. That first line is very strong. You know, the last time I had a conversation with Pia, a couple of days ago, what she didn't forget was when I said, Pia, pag nininervyos ka na in front of the world and competing against over 80 women, some of the most beautiful women, whatever you say, end strong.
Yeah.
And sound right. Ano kaya susunod? Let's start with you.
Hello, Catriona.
Hi, Steven.
So, ano yung say mo, ano yung sabi mo sa pagtanggal ng Filipino language at panitikan sa college curriculum?
I think it would be really sad if we were to reach that point. One, because I feel like when you reach a certain age, you will have an appreciation for what Tagalog is, the poetry of it, the history of it, how it's represented in our culture. Whereas if you were to take that out, who else will pioneer our language for the next generation?
Cut. Yes. That's it.
Corona na.
Thank you. Kung hindi natin nagawa yun, no?
Filipino. True Filipino. I don't
That's the
know
way to do it.
Tagalog that
And
well,
also,
but
it's very difficult
I
in beauty
understand
contests.
what you're
Sometimes
saying. I
you
respect
start
that.
very
I
well,
think
but you don't
every
know how to
country
end it.
Yeah.
Because you want to say more. Don't. That is a strong answer, period. I thank you.
Very good. Very good.
No, but wonderful. That's the handle. You have any question?
Okay. So, Kat, alam natin nag-compete ka before for Miss World.
Yes.
So, sa nakikita ko ngayon, 100% ready ka na to win the crown.
Thank you.
So, are you ready not to win the crown?
I never consider failure. Why? Because I feel that if you have that in your vision, it'll distract you. It'll withdraw your energy
Very
from
true.
you. And I need
Very true.
100%,
You wanna be focused.
120% of my energy to go towards winning.
Good. Okay. Another way to handle that.
Another great
is
answer.
When you are surprised by a question, phrase it again. I mean, ask me the question again.
Are you ready not to win the crown?
It's a distracting question because the way you made latag is you won, you know, I saw you win and you're ready for the crown, etc. And then bigla ang tanong mo is negative. Go to the phrasing. No, I am never ready not to get the crown. It's that strong. Go to the line. Go to the line. Because it's a distracting question. Nobody ever prepares for failure.
Yeah.
And certainly I am
Yeah, I don't
not.
think people think about that. It's like nobody really ever.
Remember,
Take that.
a short answer, a long answer is not tantamount to a wonderful answer. Sometimes the shorter the answer, the better. Diba? Because that silence when you say, no, I am never ready for failure. You can add a couple of points. I worked so hard for this crown, etc., etc. And then when you say thank you, and there's a silence, it's a dramatic silence. It's a poetic silence. Let's go to you.
Hello, Kat. Good evening.
Hi, John.
So what kind of validation do you get, if any, from a strong social media following?
It really would depend on the following. And my following, I can see, are a bunch of very supportive people who really interact with what I put out there. That's really important to me, interaction, because it's a two-way conversation. I'd rather have people that participate in what I'm saying rather than people who just follow and then don't attribute anything to what I'm doing.
Yeah, remember that. So,
That's very good. You know why?
interaction between me
It
and
didn't
you.
answer the question, but she sounded beautifully right. Totoo yan. You know, but what John is asking, Kat, is sa lahat ng interaction mo sa social media, what was the best validation that you got? You know, so you have to go to a line. You have to go to a post, a reaction, a share, or a comment that just got you. And what comes to mind?
I've seen that on my channel.
It would have been this really lengthy post that I read once that was posted by a supporter that just said, I followed you ever since day one. I've seen how you've grown. I've been along with you for your whole journey, and I'm just so proud to be there with you when you're going through to your next one.
Wow.
And you know, it's just that appreciation that someone would be there since day one. That would
And then
have
you end that
post.
answer with beautiful. And you end that answer by blah, 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 and I'm grateful. Wonderful answer. Diba?
I love that question, though.
Ganda. Ganda. But, and then you go into specifics. You go into that lengthy, it's lengthy, but this is what I remember. There was somebody who, and then you tell the story, and since day one, and you don't get this every day. And to him or to her out there, I'm grateful. Thank you. Let's go to you, Ian.
Hi, Kat. I'm going to ask you a very serious question, so it goes like this. Given the current economic state of the Philippines, the inflation rate, and the current Philippine exchange rate, how would you convince the Filipino people that it is still more fun in the Philippines?
Tagline.
I think we really have to learn to love local. What does that mean? That means sourcing our products and building up the livelihoods of our farmers and the people who make products in the Philippines so that we are engaging in our own economy and we're not sourcing outside all the time. In this way, you could build up the small provinces, make them more tourist attractions, get people to travel and see and love their country because there's so much to fall in love with in the Philippines. And I think we just need to reignite that love for our country and our people.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We're getting there. Let's go to you, Manchit.
Hi, Miss Catriona. Actually, I really love seeing you working closely with your advocacies. And recently, I watched your IG story, and you said earlier that you came from Tondo just to meet these less privileged children. So, as an advocate of education, what can you do to address the current state of the LUMAD schools here in the Philippines?
The LUMAD schools?
Yes. Well, the LUMAD schools, these are voluntarily run schools by indigenous people. But then currently children are having a hard time. They're going to struggle because they can't hold classes in their classrooms because of the ongoing dispute in Mindanao.
Wow.
From working closely with education, it doesn't have to be in a classroom that a child can receive knowledge. It can be in a household. It could be through a book. And I think that as long as a child can access some kind of information, whether it be through a family member or a teacher that would come to a house or even through a YouTube video, there's always some aspect where a child can learn and grow. So even though we should take steps to really resolve the disputes that are going on that are stopping them from getting a formal education, which of course is very, very important, we can still make small steps for the time being to facilitate that lack that we're experiencing right now.
Okay. Wonderful answer. But Kat, the way to handle that, because like LUMAD is, can be something that's foreign to you.
Yeah.
You know, indigenous people. LUMAD, that's a very serious cultural, traditional, political issue in the country. But the way to handle that is the context clues. Children, which is very close to you. That's why you handled it well. You know, because whether you're LUMAD, for as long as you're a child, you know what it is about.
Yeah.
And when you talked about access to whatever that can make their lives better, access to education, formal or informal, you make a stand. Because one of my strongest advocacies is to improve the lives of children. You have to end it well. In a contest, you are sometimes asked questions very specifically, like LUMADs, that may not be, you know, familiar, but still it's about children. Because in a contest, you wouldn't say, you know, these are LUMAs who cannot go to school because they don't have classrooms. But you handle it very well because of the children. This world has to be kinder to children. This world has to be better for children. This world has to do everything for children. The power of three is very important. In Q&As and even in public speaking. It's eat, pray, and love. Let's go to you, Dom.
Magta-throwback lang ako, Tito Boy, no? Before joining Binibining Pilipinas, you're part of a camp. And maraming napuzzled when you joined Binibining Pilipinas na bigla kang naging independent. Until now, hindi ba namin alam, most of us, kung ano yung reason. So my question is, would you rather be the one who hides the truth or the one who tells a lie?
That's an interesting question.
I would rather be the one who hides the truth because I believe no matter what, the truth will always come out. And, you know, I always believe in staying true to myself, which is what I did in being an independent candidate. I just wanted to create my own team. I mean, and instead of having the focus on multiple girls, I got undivided focus from a team of people that I chose myself. So I was allowed to be a creative in that space and surround myself with a core team, and it's one of the best decisions I made.
Amazing.
It's fantastic answer. You know why? It's so gut. So she was made to choose, and she chose.
I know you're well trained in answering these questions, but
you know, what truth? What? No. It has to be so, really? You're so ready. Okay, Gian, let's go to you.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Mine's a little bit serious, but I know and I'm very aware that you're an HIV awareness advocate. Do you really think that ambassadors and an ambassadress, like beauty queens, have a voice and can move mountains on convincing the government in making it a national priority?
I like that question. Thank you. I think we do have a voice to use. Why? Because governments listen to the people. And if I can be a voice to the people and either empower them to speak up or to somehow create awareness or education about the cause, just like I do as an HIV advocate, and go around for campus tours, that's when you have enough collective voices, that's when the government will start to hear us.
Very good. It sounded again so right. I mean, because I knew your question. I knew your question. Your question is, can beauty queens be effective to convince government, you know, to make HIV programs a priority? Kat took a different route. Do you get now the difference of the question?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But the first thing that came into my mind is like, obviously no beauty queen's gonna walk into to government and say, hey, let me convince you.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because as one person, that's not enough to make someone sit up and listen.
Okay.
Most of the time. Sometimes it does work. But, you know, even as being a beauty queen, what I'm amazed at is how we rally people together. Whether it be for the pageant, whether it be for fundraising or you know, just awareness that kind of ripples across. I think that's a beauty queen's greatest asset.
That's right. Let's go to Amir.
Hello, good evening. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Amir.
Before I start my question, I'd just like you to know that you're currently leading in our Missology's hat. Because you believe you fit to the title Miss Universe.
Thank you. Next morning,
See you in Thailand.
Thank you.
Do you really go wherever it is held?
Yes.
Galing naman.
We have a correspondent who's been covering different pageants.
Missology?
Yes, Missology.
Galing. Okay.
Yes, my question would be, how will you convince a feminist that beauty pageants like Miss Universe are still relevant and not shallow into
the big thing
this
here
society?
in this country right now.
I believe the aim of feminism isn't to bring women down for what they choose to express themselves as or what they choose to pursue. I think, and I believe that the whole aim of feminism is to support women in whatever they choose to do, as long as it's considerate and respectful to someone else.
That's it! I hope there's a question asked. Let's stop this.
Perfect.
You ready?
Perfect.
Wow. It's right on spot. Eric, you've asked. Garrett, go ahead.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Eric.
Hello. I've been following your beauty pageant journey since 2016.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, and I rarely hear you comment on political issues. So I have two questions. First one is it something that you really avoid? And then second one, what political issue or issues do you feel strongly for or against? And
you have to be careful with how you answer.
So your first question, why don't I speak a lot about politically charged subjects? I like to take it if it's at the time and place. I'm not going to be a public figure that just spouts opinion without being considerate of both sides and validating both sides, because at the end of the day, I wear a Philippine sash, and the Philippines is made up of millions of Filipinos with different points of view and different political standpoints, so I never want to polarize that. Whereas for my own individual beliefs, something that I'm passionate about is really, it's inequality, in that unequal access to basic human rights, such as education. And this is something close to my heart because I work in Tondo a lot. Or even education, working with Love Yourself, where there are so many areas that are experiencing just a gap of awareness of basic education, and it alters people's lives. So if I could push for anything, it would be for the government to really just bunk down and assess the Philippines as a whole, not just Manila, because we have some great educational places and facilities here, but in all of the Philippines should receive equal access to education, because then we can rise up as one people and be able to storm forward to the future on an equal standpoint.
I like that. And Kat, it would sound really, really great if you always go back to your story. And that's what you did just now. You go back to Tondo, you go back to children, you go back to education. You would relate inequality to education. It's really, really fantastic. You know why it's effective? Because it's a real story.
Like, I know you've traveled in most parts of our country and have immersed in local cultures. In the recent Miss Universe that was held here, most said that it lacked in promoting our culture as a nation. As a beauty queen, and I know for a fact that you love to travel, how would you help in promoting the culture of the Philippines in the international
Bring it here.
community?
Bring it over here.
Well,
Promote.
actually, I took the task of making my national costume very seriously. I wanted to represent the authentic Filipino culture, so I traveled and I researched, I asked questions because I wanted to step out on the international stage. Yeah, I am too. For you guys to see it, I really am. I'm bursting. And I wanted to just showcase our culture in a way that maybe one Filipino would be like, wow, that makes me proud. And another Filipino would be like, I never knew that about our culture. How amazing. So that's what I'm doing in that.
Another awesome.
I love the answer. You can probably
awesome
just add
answer.
a line, because that can be tricky. It's very tricky, because culture is a way of life. Clothing is just one. Culture is about, but you do not expect, kasi a queen, I'm just giving Kat some ideas. You do not expect a queen to cover everything that has something to do with culture. But as a queen, that matters a lot. Because how I present myself internationally is visual.
I love learning about other cultures. So I love anything you guys tell me. I love it.
Some beauty queens, after their reign, they pursue going to show business. Do you see yourself being in show business? If not, what would you pursue?
I could imagine myself going more in the direction of music. Because, as I said, arts is something very close to me. I love watching Broadway. I love musicals. I love singing. I love watching live music. So music is something I definitely like to explore. And other than that, I would love to have my own business. I've always been passionate about Philippine textiles, so I would love to find a way to market that to more people and then provide a livelihood program to give back.
Miss Gray will be a textile magnate. The only thing that's confusing there, Kat, is that music is showbiz.
Oh, okay.
In a way. But, yes, it can be part of the show business. So the way to handle that is,
showbiz
if,
is movies.
a little bit of music,
is
yeah, that's the showbiz part
a little
of me.
bit.
But
Yeah,
I
a little
love
bit.
the textiles.
Okay.
I wasn't confused
Love
by
the
that. I
textiles.
was
Serious?
good.
Let's partner.
You'll see it in my wardrobe and Miss You.
Talaga?
Yeah.
That's really a surprise. Okay, let's go to Justin.
Hi, Miss Kat.
Hi, Justin.
So I have a very contemporary question and issue.
Mhm.
I want to know what are your thoughts on the recent signage of the mental health app?
I think it's a great step forward because I believe that there's more awareness now than there ever was before. And it's something that usually wasn't talked about because we saw it as a weak will or a weak sense of character, or maybe they're just going through something bad, or, you know, we made up all of these excuses to color over what was the truth behind it. But now that we have something being put in place, the proper education can find its way into the hands of people who need it. And the stigma can start to break apart.
Very good. I wasn't aware of that, but I have an idea what it possibly means.
That's a wonderful, wonderful answer.
As you said, do you think the Philippines is ready for this app, the bill, the mental health bill?
Why wouldn't we be?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has reached a point of awareness in their community, in their personal life. We're more interconnected more than ever. And with that, we need to start thinking about what are they going through? What is my family member going through? What is my friend
we have
going
that
through?
issue
It's
here,
so
too.
much more than what lays on the surface.
a
And in
big
an age
issue.
of social media, we need to look below the surface now more than ever.
Big issue here too.
At saka, seriously speaking, it's going to save a lot of lives. Diba? Marky, have you asked? Not yet. Go ahead.
Hi, Catriona.
Hi, Marky.
When Miss Universe organization or Miss Universe official Facebook page uploaded your photos of the official candidates, you got the most likes and comments. There are good comments and there are bad comments. I just want to ask, what was the worst thing said about you and how did it affect you?
I once read a comment that said, she's so fake and scripted, nothing that comes out of her mouth is real. And it hurt. Why? Because I am a huge believer in authenticity. Like, authenticity
Wow.
is really important to me.
That'd be
and
tough.
even to a point that my charity work is the foundation of what I do. So to have someone just judge me at a drop of a hat and say, oh, baka she's just saying that because she's a beauty queen. Maybe she doesn't really care about this charity. Maybe it's just a tool for her for publicity.
People do think
It
that.
hurt, but then I realized that person doesn't know what they're talking about. Why would I let them affect me in that way when I know exactly what I've put in the work for and other people
Exactly.
know it too?
Exactly.
You know, but it would be
People
stronger.
can
Now,
write
what I
hurtful
want you to
things.
do is prepare how you would close answers. This is very important for beauty queens. Like, wonderful answer. So when you go back to it and you say, I wanted to tell this person who posted that message, dear, or darling, or honey, whatever, accuse me of anything, but not fakery. So after explaining how you got hurt and how people can be so judgmental, you go back to the original question and you say, I wanted to tell the guy, accuse me of anything, but I'm not a fake. Right? It makes it more theatrical.
Yes.
Who else has
Bit
a
of drama?
question? Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, because, you know, whether or not you're a beauty queen or you're just a person living your life, there will always be people who say bad things about you, but then pagkaharap ka nila, you're my queen. So how do you handle situations like this? Like, what virtue do you function on?
I'm not one to really show what I feel in that kind of situation. Why? Because usually the reason that there is kind of that dispute is either a misunderstanding or you just don't know each other well enough. Does that make sense? So if we don't have that relationship in the first place, I'm not going to pretend like there is, but I'll be civil. But I won't particularly judge them completely on that either, because maybe at somewhere along the line they had a wrong impression of me, or I on them. Maybe we had a miscommunication. I think everyone has their own reasons.
We haven't really started. I haven't done my interview with Kat. Okay, Kat, how badly do you want the crown?
I put so much into this journey, Tito Boy, and the people around me can be testament to that. I really gone above and beyond. And it isn't, in a way, it's not just for myself anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone feels so involved, whether it be my charities or my core team or even just all of the supporters and fans. Everyone feels like they're a part of this. So I want to do it all for everyone else.
Expectations are incredibly high. Are you pressured?
Yeah, there is pressure. I think pressure comes with a Philippine sash.
But this is different.
It's a different pressure. It's not
It's
a debilitating
really a different. Can I be
pressure.
very honest? Pia Wurzbach in 2015 was a surprise win. Catriona is a sure win. My question is, who are you as a queen?
I would never consider myself a sure win because I don't have that kind of head on my shoulders. I always see that it's never a walk in the park. There's so many things to navigate, and no one's perfect. Like, there is hard work that needs to put in. It's not like I could attend and, oh, there it goes, she's going to be the winner. I never feel like that, so it doesn't feel like I'm a sure win. Even though I'm high on everyone's expectation lists, there is that aspect of it's a competition. It could be anyone.
Okay, everybody has very high expectations. What about yours? How much are you expecting to win the crown?
I'm expecting to get exactly what I put in. So if I'm rewarded for the effort and my performance, then I'll be happy.
And if you were to be rewarded for what you put into this journey, do you deserve the crown?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Going into the contest, what is your biggest fear?
My fear is losing my groundedness. Because, you know, I want to always be grounded. I always want to come from a grateful and humble standpoint because that's just what I admire in people, when they're humble and they're grounded. And sometimes when it's really hectic and there's so much on the line, there's so much at risk, and it's a flurry of different things and time is constrained, sometimes you can lose your footing.
Right.
That's what I would hate, because that's what grounds me. That's what keeps me sane.
You know what
Wouldn't
you
be good if it
do?
happened on TV.
Get one friend. I know you organized a group chat, right? You know what you do? There's this wonderful story about Julius Caesar. I don't know if this is urban legend, but somebody told me, one wise man told me in a conversation many years ago, that when Caesar was being paraded around Rome, there was a guy, sa likod niya, who was saying, "You're human. You're human. You're human," and kept on repeating the line, "You're human." Because you're right, you can get lost.
Yeah.
You really can get lost.
Very true.
Cut 3 things that you think will help you win the crown. Tatlong bagay lamang.
Luck, passion, and love. Sounds like the seeking of true love.
Good answer. Good answer.
Luck because if it's your time, it's your time. Like, I have always believed everything happens for a reason. Like, God's divine timing for everything. Passion, because with passion, you will put your hard work in and your heart will be there. And love, because as a beauty queen, I want to have love for my country every step of the way.
Yeah. We will not forget that. Okay, luck, passion, and love. Wow. Does losing occur in your mind? Do you entertain that?
Yeah.
Never entertain it.
Yeah.
Never. Even if it just creeps in the side, I'm like, get out.
That's the best. If you were to rate 1 to 10, 10 being the most prepared, how prepared are you?
Right now?
Right now.
I would really say like a 9.9. Why? Because by the usual standards of Miss Universe, we're only required to do certain things, to have a gown, to do preliminary, to do evening gown, interview. But guys, I've gone above and beyond. It hasn't come out yet. It's coming out this month and next month, but I've gone above and beyond with my team because I wanted to do that. Like with 9 months under my belt, my creative side got like churning, and I was like, what can I do? So my national costume, different aspects are done in a different way, and I've really put effort. So just that extra effort on top of what is expected of me, I think gives me high points there.
No, I totally agree, because 99% and a 1% should allow some surprises.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and that's very important. And that moment is very important. So enjoy the moment, because that's when that magic happens. Here's one thing that's happening in 2018. You're competing against Angela Ponce, Miss Spain, who is a transgender woman. What is your stand on, you know, a transgender woman being one of the competitors in the Universe 2018?
I'm open to it because individually, I see beauty queens more than a physical aspect. We represent something. That has to be what we're there for. And she has a purpose. She is that voice for the transgender community. And if she can further educate people about what are the needs of the transgender community to get us to be more compassionate towards them, because I have close friends who are transgender, so I've heard their experiences, and there is a lot of work to be done in how we come towards them.
And Kat, if you're asked the question, can you just add one line? Please tell the world that the universe knows that Angela Ponce is a woman.
Because she didn't just wake up one day and was like, oh, I feel like being a woman today.
She is a woman.
She feels it in herself. That
She
is who
identifies
she is.
herself as a woman,
Exactly.
and therefore she is a woman. Last question. I am Catriona Gray, and
I am Miss Universe 2018.
It's amazing because it took place before.
Guys, maraming
It's a lot easier to watch than
Thank you so
once.
much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. You have my love and respect.
Love you.
You have my love and respect, my queen. Catriona Gray, Miss Universe 2018. Pilipinas, that's the bottom line. Good night.
Wow. Wow. So, congratulations on watching the longest video I have ever reacted to. Well, I think I held up pretty well. Oh, wow, that was just amazing. I'm so glad that you guys recommended that to me, because I really got to get a sense of who she is, what she believes, what she thinks. It's kind of cool that this was like before the pageant, so she hasn't won yet, and to see what her mindset is like at that time, because we all remember those 10 seconds or whatever before they announced her. So, wow. Such a triumphant moment. I'm just going back to that. I was suddenly just like emotional for a second because it's such a big moment, and I was just so happy for her. So, wow. Now I can understand why she is the way she is, why she can just kind of adapt and fit in to every situation. She has like that peaceful voice Abunda was talking about. You're human. Even though you're a queen to everybody else, you're still a person. And so it's really good that she's really grounded in that. And I'm just going to the pageant now. She just gave the most phenomenal answers. I mean, the answers were just the best. And a lot of times that's what helps you win. Because the swimsuit competition, everybody looks great, right? You don't really win that. And then now the gown, usually nobody really stands out in that too. But wow, that red dress, woo, that lava walk that did it also. And then her answer, her intelligence, her want to help children, the love she has for them. You could just feel it. You could just see it. And it was just so awesome. It was just so awesome. So hopefully, it sounds like maybe this prepared her for it a little bit more. I didn't realize Abunda was like a teacher in that way. I thought he was just more like a host. So that was really good. He was really good. He was really helpful, right? I mean, he gave some advice, but he wasn't like too harsh with it, and he was fun with it. He kept it going. He kept it lively. So I thought he was a good host with it. And that was my first time really seeing him for a lazy period of time too. But Catriona Gray, wow, it's amazing how they just ended. Like, Catriona Gray, Miss Universe 2018. Little did she know. And then her mom has the dream. Wow. I'm a believer in that kind of stuff. Not too much, but just a little bit. It runs in my family just a little bit. So that was really a cool thing to hear. So my fellow Filipinos, I love you guys. You are the best people on earth. I swear, I love it. And everywhere I go, everybody I've met, everybody I talk to here, they all say the same thing. If they've been to the Philippines, they're like, the Philippines have the nicest, most friendly people. They're beautiful people, and the best singers. So, yes. She won Miss Universe. How awesome is that? So it's so great to come back and watch this. Thank you for recommending this. And I think I have the Build series next, and that's it. But if you have any other things you want me to react to for Catriona Gray, let me know. And I hope you like my reaction. I hope you're not asleep. I hope I kept you awake a little bit. And I will see you next time.